Hello, 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 hello. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, y'all. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show. I'm so excited because I get to come today and we get to have a whole conversation about how to build a morning routine to change your life. And the reason why this makes me so excited to share is because I've really stumbled upon something that has absolutely allowed me to change the way that I operate, um, change the way that I feel. It's just so good, y'all. It's so good. So I can't wait for us to get into it right after this. Hey. Okay, so if you are joining me live, go ahead and drop your name and where you're tuning in from in the comments. I love to give you a shout out on the show today. And so, okay, listen, we are talking about how to build a morning routine that will change your entire life. And what's interesting is that I stumbled across this years and years and years ago. So I've been practicing somewhat of the same morning routine for several years now. And of course, over the years, I've perfected it and I've made it better for myself. But I've been doing this for a long time. Hey, Ashley from Atlanta, thank you so much for joining me. I've been doing it for myself for quite some time. But here's what was happening before I stumbled upon the morning routine. I would basically stay up all night because some of y'all were like me, professed night owls, right? We could just stay up all night long watching TV, doing nothing of real substance for the most part. And it would be very difficult for us to get up in the morning. And so what would happen was I would stay up all night and then I couldn't get up in the morning. And so my days would start off crazy. When I say I was being rushed, I was behind, I was cranky, irritable, stressed out, all those things. And then when you are like that, and especially when you're a parent, it makes it so hard, even on your children or your spouses, when you wake up in a very rushed mood, right? I was trying to get my child to school on time, all these things, and it just wasn't working. And I couldn't I was wondering why my days were so sucky, right? I was wondering why every day I felt like crap. I mean, I was tired and I felt stressed out. And then I read this book called The Miracle Morning. And that book literally changed my life. Oh my God, it was so good. And I haven't read it in a couple of years, but just some of the concepts that the book actually talked about really did change my entire life. And I want to share those with you just because for me, it really did change the way I operate. A lot of times we go throughout our days and throughout out our lives, and we're just like, we're stressed out. Like, you cannot imagine right now how many people, how many people I've coached and how many just conversations with friends and family that I've talked about them being stressed. Right now is a very stressful time for people. And I think that is important for us to realize that we are stressed. There's so many things that are going on in our nation. There's so many, wars, and every time you turn on the news, there's something happening. Every time social media comes on, something is going on, and it requires our attention, which also makes us stressed. And so many people have talked about taking leaves of absences from work because work is stressing us out, right? I found that this morning routine helps me mitigate my day. Hi, Sigrid. Thank you so much for tuning in. This morning routine has helped my day. So I just want to give you, some things about the morning struggle, right? Like we all have this morning struggle. Sometimes you may have difficulty waking up, right? You might find it really hard to get up out of the bed. I know I used to find it super hard to get up out of bed, but I have an antidote for that, right? So keep listening. Do you find yourself hitting the snooze button? Just keep on hitting the snooze button. When you hit the snooze button too often, it actually interrupts your natural sleep cycle, right? It interrupts your natural wake cycle and it leads you to grogginess throughout the day. And most people don't know that, right? Like you think that you're going to just hit the snooze button and that's because you're just going to get a little bit more sleep, but it really does mess you up. um and also it gives you communication challenges. If you got kids like me, when you can't wake up in the morning and when the morning is absolutely a struggle, you don't know how to communicate. You don't woke up, you them people who woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And they say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but most time you stay on the wrong side of the bed. Just notice what I want y'all to do is, if this is something that you deal with, I just want you to notice when you wake up like that, how does the rest of your day go? I can guarantee you it's not good. I mean, the only reason why I'm speaking from experience because it has been that way for me. And then I start feeling guilty because I done yelled at my babies because I didn't get up on time in order to prepare myself for them. And so then you have this, my favorite, a lack of positivity. You got all these negative thoughts and stress that's running through your mind and affecting your mood when you do not get up early or get up on time and do this beautiful morning routine that I'm going to share with you today. And so there's so many reasons why you should get up in the morning, right? There's so many benefits to practicing a morning routine. Some of them are reduced stress. We already talked about it. I mean, if there was a way I could tell you how to reduce your stress, would you listen? Yes, you would. That's why you're listening to me right now. That reduced stress is a thing. I can't tell you how I am talking to so many people right now about ways to reduce stress. First of all, this is just a stressful time of the year. And then there's just so many things going on that just causes us stress. And so it reduces stress. It enhances your productivity when you have this morning routine, improve mental health. We're talking about mental health at my church right now. And so many young people are going through mental health. And so this does work for young people, although some of the things that I'm going to say, young people don't always want to do them. But if they did practice it, it would change their life as well. You know what? You also get a lot of personal growth when you do this routine. I've learned so much, not only about myself, but about my purpose in life, what I want to do, my goals, my dreams. It's been pretty amazing. I've made some major life decisions in my morning routine time that probably would have never come to me had I not started this practice. And then better time management. I don't know nobody on this planet who don't want better time management. We are all stressed. We all have some place to go. We are all booked and busy. So having better time management is definitely something that we all want. I want to give y'all some statistics. Harvard Business Review reports that 97% of people have a morning routine. Really? I did not know that. Like I from the stress that I see people go through and from me just asking people if they have a morning routine, a lot of people tell me no. But based on Harvard, Harvard Business Review, which I subscribe to, they say that 97% of people have some kind of morning routine. It might not be super robust, and it doesn't have to be. But I'm gonna share with you the one that I use and the one that helps me out the most. And according to 43% of Americans, they drink coffee. Coffee is a significant part of the morning routine, and followed by working out and then taking a shower. So that's, that's all of that is part of some of what I do. But I fast. And so sometimes I don't drink coffee because I can't do black coffee. And so sometimes I may do bulletproof coffee or keto coffee or something like that. But according to, the statistics, 43% of Americans have coffee. And it doesn't have to be coffee, it could be tea for you, right? And then 4 out of 10 people said they experience less stress when they get a good night's sleep. And we are going to talk about that. Okay, so I told y'all in the beginning, before I started this morning routine, I was staying up at all hours of the night because I love y'all. Listen, let me just tell y'all this. Ask me anything about HGTV and I know it, right? Ask me any of the characters or people who play in the shows, any of the shows. I know them all because guess what? It comes on at 10 o'clock at night and I need to be up to watch it. And so ask me any of that. My goal, I always like to stay up late. My body, I can do it. Even to this day, I can stay up late, but I choose not to. But here's the thing, I was staying up late. I was doing just God knows what. And I heard this saying from somebody that I think sparked me to begin looking for a new way of being and a new way of operating. And they said, you cannot be in a bad financial situation and complain about it when you're staying up all night watching other people make money. Oh my God. Hold on, let me say it again. If you are complaining about money, right? And I think at the time, because like I told you, I've been doing this routine forever. At the time you cannot complain about money if you stay up all night watching other people on TV make money. I was in my feelings. I was in my whole feelings about this thing. So I'm like, well, if I'm not going to stay up all night watching TV, what am I going to do? And the thought was, you going to sleep, ma'am. You're going to go to sleep so you can get up tomorrow. And maybe you won't feel like crap when you get up tomorrow. So for some reason during that same time, I ran across the book, The Miracle Morning, and I read that. And I recommend you all read that book as well. It is definitely, a phenomenal book for you to read. And so I took some of what that book said and I created my own miracle morning of sorts, right? You don't have to call it that because some people are don't want to, some people are don't like the word miracle or whatever. But it worked for me. And I just want to make sure I get you the name of the author. I think it's how let me see. I think it is. Let me make sure. I'll tell y'all the name before it is over. I think I meant to look it up, but yeah, Hal. Hal is his name, and Hal Elrod, ELROD, Hal HAL Elrod is his name. Hi, Dr. Gail. Thank you so much for joining me. And so Hal Elrod, he wrote this book, The Miracle Morning. I read it, and I was like, oh my God. So I was like, am I going to do this? I think I can. And I think so. I was on this tip, right? Since they told me that broke people shouldn't complain about staying up all night watching other people make money, I was on this whole tip. At the same time, I read this other book called The 5 a.m. Club. I know, y'all. I know. But hear me out. Hear me out. These two books, they literally changed the way that I operate, right? So I started taking those things into consideration. And let me tell you how that works for me right now. First of all, if you're going to have a great morning, a miracle morning, a wonderful morning, whatever you want to call it, you need to start the night before. What do I mean? You need to start the night before getting a good night's sleep. Now, what is that? What did that mean for Dr. Kiki? That meant that I probably could not watch House Hunters, which comes on at 10 o'clock, right? PM, Eastern Standard Time. I probably couldn't do that. And that was a difficult thing for me. Even now, that's difficult, right? Right now, I will sometimes record House Hunters so that I can watch it like the next day during a break or something like that. But that's what that meant. That meant I had to go to bed. That meant that I had to focus on getting 8 hours of sleep. And going to bed at 10 or 11 and waking up at 8 hours, 5 a.m., that ain't 8 hours. So I had to readjust my schedule. So that meant I had to go to bed earlier. So let me just say this, right? Yeah, Dr. Gail says she get up at the 4 a.m. club. I'm gonna talk about that too, because I've been part of the 4 a.m. club more recently because I get more done. But let me just say this. We have a culture out here called the hustle culture, right? I be a part of it sometimes. Like I be hustling. I'm just ambitious in that way. But the hustle culture, they'll talk about getting up at 4 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 2 o'clock, but they won't tell you that they go to bed at 5 p.m. Like they won't tell you, right? That they go to bed early. They just talk about get up and grind when everybody else sleeping. That's easy to do if you're going to go to bed at 6 p.m. every day. It is very easy to do that, but they don't want to say that part because that part ain't sexy to say, right? But I'm gonna tell you what, ain't nobody who you listen to go out there and get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at midnight or 1 a.m. every night. It ain't possible. Nobody's walking around their best lives and their best selves getting 2 and 3 hours of sleep every night. It's not true. So don't believe the hype when it comes to the hustle culture. These people are going to bed early so that they can get up early. That is how it works. So when we're talking about the miracle morning, the beautiful morning, the miraculous morning, all of that, you are going to bed early the night before. So my goal right now is to get in bed at 9 o'clock. Sometimes I've been able to get into bed at 8 and then go to sleep by 9. But I'll tell you, my days are long. And so I'm pretty tired by the time my kids get into bed at 8 o'clock. And so that's the first step. You are not going to have, I'm just going to say this. You are not going to have no miraculous morning if you go to bed at midnight and try to get your life up at 4 or 5 a.m. It's just not going to happen. It don't work that way. And I had to learn that the hard way because I'm like, I'm about to do this miracle morning. I'm about to do this. But I kept on going to bed late. And I'm like, why I don't feel good? Like he said in the book, why don't I feel well? And you don't feel well because you ain't getting enough sleep, boo. So that's the first part. So go ahead, get you a good night's sleep, get in the bed so that you get at least 8 hours of sleep. Whatever that is for you and whatever time you wake up, make sure you get 8 hours of sleep. Okay? So, how I do that is then you wake up early. Choose a time. My normal time to wake up is 5 a.m. And you choose the time that you need to choose for yourself because and here's why that's important, right? For me, 5 a.m. is a decent time that gives me an hour to get up and do what I need to do before my kids have to get up at 6 o'clock, right? That gives me that hour. However, I did mention, like Dr. Gail, I've been getting up at 4 o'clock lately because I realized having 2 hours where everybody is asleep is better than one. I can get so much done in my miracle morning if I give myself 2 hours before my kids get up. I can even get some work done if I do that. And it's the house is completely quiet. Everything is completely quiet. And let me just tell you why this is important, right? Let me tell you why this is so important. And you'll keep hearing people who are part of the 4 and the 5 a.m. club. You'll hear people say, I love when the world is asleep. See, when you get up early before anybody else is up, the world is sleeping. There are no demands on your time. The only demand on your time is the demand that you put on your own time. That is a beautiful thing. Once the world is up, people are emailing me, people are calling you. I mean, people got demands on what you do and how you spend your time when the rest of the world is up. But when they are sleeping, nobody is demanding your time. And that is the most beautiful feeling. I'm telling you, if you haven't experienced it yet, come get you some. It's so good, right? It's so good. I ain't got to worry about nobody calling my name. I ain't nobody mama at the moment. I ain't nobody wife. It is just me and God in the morning time. Beautiful. So, but here's the thing. You have to be able to get yourself up out the bed. You remember I said earlier that some of us have a problem just getting up out of the bed. Number one, if you get a better night's sleep, it's easier to get up out of the bed. But number two, I know me. I like a good old snooze button. How many of y'all snoozing out there? I know you are. You ain't got to raise your hand. I know. I love a good snooze button. And so, guess what? My alarm clock is my cell phone. I used to sleep with my cell phone beside my bed, which then I would put on snooze every time it would go off. But because I know that that's what I do, and we have to be honest with ourselves, right? A lot of times we're not honest with ourselves. I had to be honest with myself. And I knew that I was going to hit the snooze button. So guess where the phone for me goes? It goes right in the bathroom. So I have a whole plug and a whole situation set up for my phone in the bathroom. And I'm a light sleeper anyway, because if my kids just as much as whimper, I'm up. I can hear them. And so I can hear my alarm clock through the bathroom and the door is closed. And I try to not wake Jamil up because, I don't want him to have to get up at 4 a.m. because then I don't want us both up at 4 or 5 a.m. I want to be up by myself. And so I put it in the actual bathroom, and I have to get up to go get it to turn it off so that it doesn't disturb him, right? Because I'm being mindful of his sleep. And so I have to get up. And I tell myself I can't get back in the bed. I can't get back in the bed. Now, let me just be honest. Have I ever got back in the bed? Yes. And it's been only on those nights when I know I didn't get some sleep, but I really wanted to try to get up early still. And my body was just like, yeah, not today, girl. We can't do it. But when I go to bed on time, I get the sleep that I need and I get up at that time, I'm up. I'm absolutely up. And so I put it in the bathroom. So I'm going to tell every last one of y'all, put your alarm clocks, especially if it's your phone, put it in the bathroom. Make yourself get up and go get that alarm clock and stay up. Stay up. Okay. So that is that. The next thing I do is I have a bottle of water on my bed, on my table beside my bed. So as soon as I get up, I drink some water, try to get my body, acclimated and lubricated up because I know I'm about to start moving and stuff like that. So I drank some water and I'm trying to, always drink more water. So the sooner I can get water in my body, the better it is for me. And then I kind of tiptoe downstairs to my office. This is my office that I'm in. And I go into prayer. I read my Bible. I have a beautiful office set up. I have a couch, a TV, all that ottoman. So I have my robe on with my hood. I got my glasses on, all of that. And I am reading my Bible. Some of you may want to meditate or do some kind of mindfulness practice. I think that that is so important. And that's where I put on my armor for today, right? Like I put on my armor for the day because I know the day is going to bring about so many different things, that I have to deal with, and I need protection. I need to be protected against all of the mayhem that may be going on in my day, and so I give that time, and I just also give myself time to think. I give myself time to just be. There's so often throughout my day, I don't have a moment to think about things, right? Like I don't have a quiet moment or anything like that to think about things that I need to do, dreams, never alone, never alone. I can't dream, right? There's no time to dream. There's no time to plan, for the future in the daytime. I do all of that stuff in the morning time because the world is asleep, and it is my playground to then do that. Sometimes I journal. I have a little self-care journal that I journal in to make sure that I am practicing self-care for myself. And it's so good to kind of just write down your thoughts, write down some of those dreams and aspirations. I think that we are a world and a culture who stopped dreaming. I think that there's so much more that we can be, doing. Not that we have to fill our days up with doing things, but I think that we haven't tapped into our capability in life. And so we stop dreaming. And I think so many of us are also struggling with our jobs and just being feeling like we belong and feeling like that's our purpose in life. And we just stop dreaming. We just settle for what it is. And I'm saying we don't have to do that. And so this time that you spend with yourself in the morning can be that time for you to dream and for you to really develop. Sometimes I read. I feel like in the morning is an opportunity to get some personal development in. And so I read or I sit and I listen to my book. I'm a huge Audible fan. And so I listen to a lot of my books, but then there's some books that I just want to read. And so sometimes I'm sitting there reading and I'm just catching up on what's going on even in the world. It's such a beautiful thing. And I do all of this before my kids get up at 6 a.m. And if I get up at 4 a.m., more than likely, I have a task that I want to get done in terms of work. And I'm able to do all of what I just said and some of the tasks. I may not get the whole task done, but I'm able to do some of the task and all of this. So sometimes I get up in the morning and grade papers. My students be like, Dr. Kiki, how you gonna send us an announcement at 4 a.m.? I'm like, I'm up grading your papers at 4 a.m. And so it gives me an opportunity to get some things done also that I might have not gotten done during the day or something like that. So I think that it's important to be able to get that. I've been able to knock out so many things in the morning time because I'm up that early and nobody else is bothering me. And then my kids get up, I do the mom thing, and then they go to school. And then once they go to school, I use that opportunity to work out. I work out. I Most of y'all know, if y'all have ever seen me before, I am a Peloton fan. And I have the Peloton tread and the Peloton bike. Kiki, do you love me? If you own Peloton, this is not a commercial, but I just love them. And I'm working out for anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour. It depends on what's on my calendar. And a lot of people say, oh my God, I don't have 20 minutes. I don't have an hour to work out. I don't have an hour most days to work out either. This morning, I had an hour to work out and I went on a hour long run/walk. And it was fantastic. I burned about 500 calories and it was great. But on a regular basis, I don't always have the opportunity to normally do an hour. And I say, do what you can. And the reason why I love getting up and working out in the morning versus in the afternoon is because there's this thing called willpower. And research already says that willpower is greater in the morning. So by the time I done did a full day at this desk and talked to so many clients and people, and then I go get my kids, I don't even have the energy to work out. But because my energy has been spent throughout the day. So I decide to practice self-care because working out for me is self-care. So I decided to practice self-care and I literally work out in the morning time. And it makes me, it releases endorphins. Y'all know all these things make you happy and it makes me feel accomplished. I've done something already as an accomplishment in the morning when I work out. And I can say, you know what? You are an absolute success. You're a success. And let me just tell you, a lot of people like, Kiki, you like to work out. And part of that is really true. I do like to work out. I like the feeling of accomplishment that I'm doing something for my body. But let me just also say this. I'm human and I don't always like to work out. And on those mornings that I don't want to work out, guess what I do? It anyway. And did. I do it anyway because I know it's the one thing that is for me. That whole morning is for me, right? I cultivated a whole self-care routine in the morning time that is specifically for me and nobody else. And so sometimes I'll go downstairs and I have my robe on. I'll literally have the robe on the treadmill. And it ends up coming off because, of course, I end up getting hot and starting to sweat, and I'm not going to be on the treadmill with the robe and sweaty, right? But I still get on there, right? I still get on there because I know how important it is. And that is my miracle, my wonderful, my miraculous morning. It works, y'all. It works. And so I understand, right, that it can be super difficult to change your life around if this is something that you desire and you haven't done it before. But I'm just going to say for you, if you really do want to change the way that you operate and you want things to change in your life, some of us really want things to change, right? Like we have these goals that we really want we really want things to change. And if you do, this is to me one of the easiest things that you can do is just really switch up your routine. This is a routine switch. So if this is something that you want to do, I want you to set a goal, determine some objectives for your morning routine. Like, what are you trying to do? Do you want to boost your productivity, right? Do you want to boost your happiness? Do you want to improve your mental health? Like, figure out why you want to do this. I think for me, I wanted to feel like I was more productive because I didn't want to stay up all night watching other people make money. I want to be making money too. And so I wanted to get myself up and get myself together so that I could be feeling productive, with my gifts and talents in this world. So number one, figure out why you want to do this. I've never been able to do anything successfully without a why. I don't care like what it is. I've never been able to do it successfully if I didn't have a real hardcore why I was actually doing it. And then assess your schedule. Like examine your entire schedule and make some plans. Plan ahead. You got to look at your schedule and be like, all right, I know I'm got to stay up late this night, so I might have to push back my time, or I know I can stay up late I'm going to stay up late tonight, but I still think I can get up at this time. Like really look at your schedule, right? And figure out like what it is looking like and then plan accordingly because you did that, right? Plan ahead. Figure out what time you're going to wake up in the morning. See, I do that at night. I don't just automatically, because I vacillate between 4 and 5 a.m. Dr. Gail she'll just get up at 4 o'clock, right? But I vacillate between the two. And so it depends on what I have on my schedule. If I got a project or something that I'm really working on, I might get up at 4. And I mean, I think last week or the week before, I got up at 4 every day because I just had some things that I needed to get done. And this week I've gotten up at 4, I think once, and then the rest of the day is 5. And so I think that you just have to really plan it out according to you. and then start with small steps. You might not be able to start with 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. for that matter. But if you regularly get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you want to start doing this when the world is sleeping, start pushing your time up by 30 minutes every week. And until you can get to a place where you're like, this feels good, right? So if you start at 8 o'clock, you get up at 8, push it to 7:30 for a week, and then maybe push it to 7 o'clock. And then, or you can start at 8 and push it to 7 for a week, and then push it to 6, and then so on and so forth. But start small. A lot of times we think that we have to, when we're trying to change something about our life, we have to tackle every single aspect of our life all at one time. And that is, my dear, a recipe for disaster. Disaster. You don't have to tackle every single thing. Just do one thing at a time. Start small, and then you will get to your goal. And then lastly, try to stay consistent with it, right? Habits are not reached until 66 days. It takes 66 days based on research. Yes, I know a lot of people, y'all thought 20 or 30 or something like that, but it's 66 days to build a true habit. So until you can consistently do this for about 2 months, then it might be a struggle, but it's okay. If you fall off the wagon for a day, two, three, a week, so get back on there. Get back on there when you feel good about it and just start over. It's only going to benefit you at the end of the day. That's all. And then lastly, I want you to celebrate your wins, right? I want y'all to hit me up on social media and be like, Dr. Kiki, oh my God, I tried the miracle morning. I tried the miraculous morning. I tried the wonderful morning, and it is working so well for me. And I can see a difference in my life. Hit me up on any of my social medias. I would love to hear from you, because to me, it is a game changer. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. I really love talking to y'all. I love our conversations. I love it when you join me live. And I just appreciate your support. The Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show podcast is consistently getting hundreds and hundreds of downloads. And this is absolutely something that I didn't expect, right? Like, I've not been in the podcasting world for a long time, but I can see you all downloading it, and I appreciate all of the love. And if you are listening to this live on any of my social medias, the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show is on all podcast stations that you might listen to: Apple, Spotify, all of that. And if this was helpful to you, share it with a friend. Share it with a friend. And if you love the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show, leave me a comment. I would absolutely love to get a comment or a review from you if you love the show. Until next time, if you ladies are looking for a supportive community, I invite you to join the Happy Women Lead tribe. You can just go over to happywomenlead.com and you will find us there. I love you all. I really do appreciate your support and you sharing all of this goodness with everybody. I can't wait to talk to y'all